Always gravitated towards self-improvement, and now that I'm 25, I feel like I have been improving for quite a while now. I always wanted to find the next thing that could make me more efficient or make me finish tasks a lot faster, because who would want to stand there and do mundane tasks all day? So I thought that I would talk about some of the things that really helped impact my life in a positive way. The first thing that improved my life was realizing that financial literacy is important. I always knew that financial literacy was an important thing to have, but I really didn't have any guides for it. I wasn't taught it in high school, I was barely taught about it in college, and I feel like my precedent for learning about financial literacy was that I wanted to help my family with some financial responsibilities. So myself, as well as others who have financial pressure, tend to study up on personal finance and how to improve their situation. But for a lot of people, we don't really realize it until we leave college and we're like, dang, we got to start living in the real world. Outside of starting life after college, I feel like I always see and hear a lot of stories, whether it's social media or a personal experience while talking to people who are older, that talk about regretting not investing or regretting not putting their money in the right place. And it makes sense because money compounds over time. Like, that's just a normal thing to know about with investing. And it's one of the key things that people teach you when introducing you to financial literacy. So the fact that so many people regret it just proves that it's important to learn about these things as early as we can. It's also important to understand what financial literacy is for. So financial literacy is made so that we can prepare our futures and have a better future. I don't think it ever meant that we should throw all our money into stocks and investing, or we just shouldn't have fun because we need to prepare for our future. I'm not trying to scare you by saying, oh, we really need to start investing in all of this stuff or else our futures are screwed. I'm just saying that we should balance things when it comes to our finances, and we should have an appropriate amount of fun and an appropriate amount of preparation for our future. While I was trying to find the balance between investing and having fun, I started to realize how important it was to be consistent. In the financial world, it is important to be consistent with how much we're investing every month and how much we're putting aside and how often we're paying our monthly bills, credit cards, etc. Hopefully for most of you, you are able to pay those monthly payments because it's never good to deal with those interest rates. Outside of the financial realm, consistent effort and consistency in general ended up playing a very impactful role in my life. Believe me when I say that consistent effort is so much better than high impact bursts. It's easier to set expectations for yourself and it's easier to schedule around. For example, I used to be a consistent procrastinator. I used to delay doing my homework and I used to always wait until the deadline to do things. If I could go back 5 years and talk to myself, I would tell myself to be more aware of who I am and to set expectations properly. I think a part of me always knew that I was a procrastinator even at the time, but the truth is that I never really did anything to mitigate issues. And I definitely didn't do anything to control the problem. Now, even though I couldn't help college Jomer, I did eventually end up actually applying this. For one, I did reflect on myself and started to become more aware of the fact that being a procrastinator was creating a negative impact in my life. And the second step above mitigation was to tackle the issue, confront why I was procrastinating, and started realizing that there's a better way to do things in life. There was quite a lot of introspecting that I did to realize what was causing my procrastination. So maybe I'll go into it in another video. If anyone's interested, feel free to leave a comment. But for now, let's move on with my list. The next one is the classic phrase, do what makes you happy. Now I know it's cliche, but trust me, there is nothing worse than just slugging away at something that you just don't want to do. It's important to do what makes you happy because it's your life. Put yourself first because what you want to do is important. I grew up wanting to help the people that I really cared about. I didn't mind giving money, time, or energy, but before I gave any of that, I gave myself a reminder. I always reminded myself that I can't help anybody if I'm not mentally and physically okay. This goes beyond the airplane air mask idea because every day we're not fighting for our lives. I feel like that example reminds us that in a life and death situation, we have to make sure that we're alive first before helping people. But what it also implies is that if it's not urgent, then it's okay to not put yourself first. Regardless of urgency, it's important that we are mentally and physically healthy. When we are mentally and physically healthy, we allow ourselves to have more opportunities in life and to reach for even more challenging goals. The next thing I learned is to listen to your heart and gut. When solutions are perfect, great, you're done. But the truth is that challenging decisions are the ones that take up the most time and energy. I found in the past that sometimes my heart and gut end up fighting each other, but there will always be a solution where both align to some degree. But it's the type of solution that will make you happy enough to move on to the next day and continue with your life moving forward. When I graduated college, I had the choice to work here in New York. When I graduated college, I had the choice to work in Connecticut at a job that was more tailored towards my dreams. And my other option was to have this job opportunity that I had and live with my family. Pursuing our own dreams or helping the people that we love is always a struggle. And maybe I'll go into it at a different time, but I ended up finding a solution where I was able to help my family and able to follow my dreams. When I look back, I'm really happy that I made that decision, and most importantly, I didn't regret it. It's important that we live life without regrets, just because we can't go back in the past. We can't change the things we said or the actions that we did, but we can always work towards a better tomorrow. Speaking of better tomorrows, I realized that life just started, which is so crazy to say. I finished college around 4 years ago, but everything honestly felt more real when I left that school bubble. I felt like I was finally exposed to everything that the world had to offer, even though I ended up having more responsibilities. And as I started to get more exposed to the world, I realized my last lesson for the video. Take life in breaths. Deal with your problems and responsibilities like you breathe air. If you try to breathe in all the air in the world, you're just not going to be successful. I don't care how big your lungs are. If we try to breathe in all the air, there's only so much we can take. So breathe consistently, breathe properly, and most importantly, breathe more. That's all I had. And like I said, life just started for me. So I'm going to keep on trying to self-improve. I always talk about improving life and have other videos that will hopefully change your perspective for the better. If that's something that you're interested in, feel free to check out the rest of my channel and join me on my journey. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.